Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another weekly edition of 100 Yards and Running presented by the Family Meeting Podcast. I am your host with the most, Reggie. Let's get into it. Thursday night, you see the hat? Y'all see the hat? The New York Football Giants played host to the Philadelphia Eagles, the world champion Philadelphia Eagles, and upsetted the world champions at MetLife Stadium. That's why you see it. Giants fans stand up, beating the world champions by a score of 34-17. Jackson Dart throwing for touchdowns, started red hot in this game, and that running back that we got, Scattybo, he's a problem. We got Denver this Sunday, so let's see if the Giants can keep up this momentum. But with this week going into week 7, going into week 8, the Giants upsetted the world champions. So anything is possible. Unlike for this next New York team, and Jets fans, please don't hate me when I say this, but you cannot buy a win. I don't know what's going on in that organization. I don't know if it's Aaron Glenn. I don't know if it's the players. Justin Fields is always in concussion protocol, in and out of concussion protocol. He came back this week playing the same Denver Broncos that the Giants play on Sunday. The Jets tried to make this game interesting, but in the end, the Jets doing what the Jets do, stinking up the joint, let the Broncos defense shut them down in the fourth quarter, and the New York Football Jets lose to the Denver Broncos by a score of 13-11, improving the Jets season to 0-6. You heard that right, ladies and gentlemen. The New York Football Jets are 0-6. They can't buy a win. And you got Aaron Glenn dancing on the sideline like that's going to help boost your team to a win. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's the owner. I don't know if it's the coaches. Something has to happen in New York. Either let Aaron Glenn go or find a way to win football games. This season, y'all are winless. Y'all are the only team in the NFL that can't win. Everybody else got to win but the Jets, and that's sad. Moving on. Sunday night football. We had what we'll say a Super Bowl preview. To me, this puts teams in a position right now, this week and next week, to put themselves in a position to go in the playoffs and get that number 1 spot into the playoffs. Kansas City playing at home, hosting the Detroit Lions. Now, Detroit fans, y'all had a good week last week. This week, y'all played a desperate Chiefs team that's waiting to get back into 500 mark. And at the end of this game, and this was unsportsmanlike to me, the Chiefs doing what the Chiefs supposed to do at home, getting a win, 30-17. They was all over the Lions that night. The defense was better than the Lions offense. The Lions defense couldn't stop the Chiefs offense from scoring, and it was all over the place. But at the end of this game, Dylan Branch and Juju Smith-Schuster get into it. He walks up to Juju Smith-Schuster and punches him in the face, leading other players to circle around them to break up a scuffle led by Dylan Branch. Was this unsportsmanlike of him? Yes, it was. You are a national football player, and I say this every week. It is unacceptable what these guys do on the football field. You get paid millions of dollars. Ask Jaden Carter. He spit on Dak Prescott. That's nasty. If I'm playing in that sport and somebody's spitting on me, it's unacceptable. It is unacceptable, and it can't happen. But Carter, being dealing with what he did, beating up Juju Smith-Schuster, now you suspended for a game because you want to sit there and do unsportsmanlike moves and attack a player at the end of the game. The Chiefs moving to 3-3, playing host to the Jags next week. And this has to be looked at by the NFL. You got these players who get into their feelings, and I get it. You're in the heat of the moment. You're in the heat of the sport. Your team is down 7 or your team is up, and you got these players getting in their feelings, attacking players for no reason. That is unacceptable. The NFL needs to look into these and look into this matter, especially because this season is crazy. It just started not too long ago, and it's getting crazy. Moving on, the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Pittsburgh Steelers revamped themselves, getting Aaron Rodgers over there on board. You're bringing DK Metcalf, and you got Aaron. Aaron got some weapons over there. They played the Cleveland Browns on Sunday. Okay, we all know what's going on in Cleveland. The Cleveland Browns traded Joe Flacco to the Cincinnati Bengals. Now you got Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders. You don't play Shedeur Sanders at all. Dylan Gabriel, your rookie quarterback. This is the quarterback you drafted, Cleveland. Only put up 9 points. 9 points. And you got Shedeur Sanders, just because he's Deion Sanders' kid, he has to sit there and play second fiddle to Dylan Gabriel. Are you kidding me? To put up 9 points? The Steelers' defense was all over the place, and they only put up 9 points, and the Steelers beating them by a score of 23-9. Aaron Rodgers was throwing for touchdowns. They was running the ball. The defense was all over them. T.J. Watt was T.J. Watt. Jalen Ramsey over there in the backfield shutting down your receivers. You couldn't do anything. Moving on, the Chargers and the Dolphins. Now, this was a tough one for the Chargers after losing 2 straight, and one of them being the New York Giants that defeated you. The Chargers got back on a winning track right here. This game could have went any way. Tua was throwing touchdowns. They wish they would have had Tyreek Hill, but Jalen Waddle stepped up. So now you got players on Miami that's trying to step up. Unfortunately, the Chargers got pieces back on the defensive end, and I say this every year. Defense win championships. I don't care what nobody says. If your defense is not on point and you can't stop the other team's offensive line, how are you going to win that game? It starts with your front 7 on both sides of the ball. And if you got rookies who's jumping a line for 4 starts and encroachments, that's another thing that the NFL needs to look into. You got these hard counts, and you got people jumping the line, and you got 4 starts. So that got to be looked into. That tush push that the Eagles cheat with got to get looked into. I'm sorry, because a lot of football teams, now the Buffalo Bills are using it. That is a cheat play to me, and it got to go. That's just my opinion. But the Chargers beating the Miami Dolphins by a score of 29-17, improving to 4-2. The Dolphins is in second to last place with the winless Jets at the bottom of the AFC East. Now, this team right here took sole possession of the AFC East to me. With the Bills losing, and we're going to get to Buffalo in a minute, with the Bills losing and New England winning, if the New England Patriots won this game, this spot right here puts the Patriots in first place of the AFC East, a place they have not been since Tom Brady. But look who they played. They played the Saints. And I'm sorry, we all know that the New Orleans Saints are trash, but the Jets are worse. At least the Saints got a win. But not this week. They played the Patriots. Stephon Diggs and the Patriots. You got Drake May being Drake May now, and Mike Vrabel coaching the Patriots. The Patriots upsetting, and this is not an upset, but some say it is. The Patriots upsetting New Orleans at home, beating the New Orleans Saints by a score of 25-19. With this win, the Patriots are now in first place of the AFC East. Why? because they beat the Buffalo Bills. So sad. And Buffalo losing at home. And we're going to get on that team in a minute. But moving on, the Rams and the Baltimore Ravens. Baltimore, we in trouble. Lamar Jackson is hurt. Derrick Henry can't hold on to the ball. You got receivers that's injured. Isaiah Likely is trying. Zay Flowers can't be Zay Flowers without Lamar Jackson. The Ravens are in trouble. And you play the Rams. Matthew Stafford being Matt Stafford. Nakua getting hurt, coming back. You got Devontae Adams. You got receivers running the ball. Your running back was running all over Baltimore's defense. And the Rams beat the Ravens at home by a score of 17-3. My God, what's going on? You know, thank you for tuning in. That's to one of my loyal viewers right there. Peace and love to my viewers. But like I said, moving forward, the Rams needed this win. It was a much-needed win for the Rams. The Ravens, they moved to 1-5. They need help. That quarterback is not it. Lamar Jackson, I don't know what's going on with your legs, but you need to be healthy because your team needs you. And I don't see the Ravens making it to the playoff if they lose next week. Moving on, the Indianapolis Colts, Daniel Jones. Now, Giants fans, should we be kicking ourselves in the foot for letting Daniel Jones go? Absolutely not. No. I think Jackson Dart is the future of the Giants organization. And once Malik Neighbors come back and him and Dart get that chemistry going, the Giants is going to be a threat in the NFC East. You heard it from me first. With that defense and Brian Daboll being Brian Daboll, it's the sky's the limit for the Giants fans. But the only thing I didn't like about the Giants fans this all season, we signed Russell Wilson. We get it. Russ needed somewhere to go. Pittsburgh let him go. The Giants wanted to bring in some veteran championship caliber quarterback to your organization. It could have been anybody else but Russell Wilson. But here we are. The Indianapolis Colts and Daniel Jones played host to the Arizona Cardinals. Kyler Murray was out. The Cardinals' secondary quarterback was balling. Daniel Jones being Daniel Jones, getting the ball down the field. The Colts upsetting the Arizona Cardinals by a score of 31-27. The Colts improving to 5-1 in the season and in first place in their division. I'm impressed with what I see from the Indianapolis Colts. If Daniel Jones and that team keep bowling like this with Jonathan Taylor, they're going to be a problem in the playoffs. And if you play them at home, we haven't seen the Colts make the playoffs, let's be real, since Peyton Manning and Marvin Harrison. And that was years ago. Moving on to Seattle and Jacksonville. You got Sam Darnold against Trevor Lawrence. Now, the problem in Jacksonville is their offensive line. I've been saying that since I've been watching Jacksonville play when they had Maurice Jones-Drew, a veteran running back. It's always been their offensive line. Their defense is one of the top defenses in the league this season, but their offensive line sucks. And if Trevor Lawrence can't be protected, how can you get the ball to Travis Hunter and other receivers on that team? Sam Darnold being Sam Darnold led the Seattle Seahawks to a victory, beating the Jacksonville Jaguars by a score of 20-12. Seattle trying to get host to their division, and it just is clicking on all cylinders for Seattle. Kenneth Walker is healthy. Tyler Lockett is back. Sam Darnold being Sam Darnold. The sky is the limit for Seattle. They let go Geno Smith and upgraded to Sam Darnold. That's a huge upgrade to me because Las Vegas, which I will be getting on and finally getting back to the winning ways. But this team right here should be ashamed of themselves. And y'all call this America's team? Let's talk about it. The Dallas Cowboys playing host to the Carolina Panthers in Carolina. Everybody was like, oh, Dak Prescott going to be the runner for MVP. That this, that. Oh, CD Lamb going to be healthy. Oh, we got George Pickett. Dak Prescott this. Dak Prescott that. And Jerry Jones, you're delusional. You paid Dak Prescott this much money to lose a football game, and you get beat by Bryce Young and the Carolina Panthers? If I'm Jerry Jones, and it's supposed to be America's favorite team, I'm kicking myself in the behind right now. I see why people rag on Dallas, because you can't win the big ones. Your defense hasn't been the same. Your quarterback stinks. I don't care if you think he's your MVP quarterback. Dallas is going to go to the playoffs again this year, and they're going home by the second round. You heard it from me first. Let's talk about it. Moving on to those Raiders playing host to the Tennessee Titans. Now, both of these teams was desperate for a win, but Geno Smith finally got the job done and finally get it together, and you beat the Titans. We get it. The Tennessee Titans hasn't been the same since they let go Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry wanted to go somewhere where he could have an opportunity to win a championship, so he went to Baltimore. Unfortunately for him, Lamar Jackson can't stay healthy, so there's his season down the drain. And so is Tennessee. This was a desperate win for Geno Smith and the Las Vegas Raiders. Max Crosby was back on defense, and you needed that win. So congratulations to the Raiders on improving to 2-5 on the season. They're another team that's desperate to try to make a run, and it's not going to happen because you got teams like the Colts, you got teams like the Chargers, you got the Buffalo, even though they lost Sunday night, which I'm going to get to. You got Kansas City. You can't count out Mahomes. You can't count out Kelsey and Worthy's coming back, and they're getting back Rashid Rice from suspension. Kansas City going to be dangerous too. So you got teams that's better than Las Vegas and Tennessee that's going to be a playoff caliber team. You know who else I see being a playoff caliber team that doesn't get the credit, and he deserves it. But you will get it from credit from me this week. And I'm letting Baker Mayfield cook. Let Baker cook. Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers playing host to Mac Jones. You heard me, Mac Jones, because Brock Purdy is still out with a toe injury. So Mac Jones is the backup. So you got Baker Mayfield and the Bucs going against Mac Jones and the 49ers. And Tampa Bay doing what Tampa Bay does all season long. Baker with these comebacks, but this wasn't a comeback. This to me was a statement win for the Bucs and making them a threat in the NFC West, and they are knocking on the door to be first place in that division. And the way Baker is playing, I think they deserve it. Baker Mayfield is slept on QB to me this year, and he's a vote to me, not Dak Prescott, to be MVP candidate. Because let's face it, Baker is leading his team the drives, and the Bucs are winning games, and they're 5-1. So Baker Mayfield, you heard it from me, just like Sam Darnold. Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, Josh Allen. But Josh Allen is going down this week because Monday night, it was a doubleheader that we had, which I will get to. But let me get to the most important game of the night. The Green Bay Packers and the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals going back and forth, trading for Joe Flacco. He leaves Cleveland. He's come to Cincinnati because Joe Burrow is out, another quarterback that's out, with the same injury as Brock Purdy, a toe injury. So Jordan Love, and you got Michael Parsons in Green Bay doing what Green Bay does. Green Bay got a nice young team on both offense and defense, and they're hungry. And they're another team, too, that I see that could be a playoff caliber team. So Green Bay getting the job done at home, beating the Bengals by a score of 27-18. Jordan Love was throwing touchdowns. That defense was all over the place. And Josh Jacobs to me, and along with Alvin Kamara, Saquon Barkley, and others, you got to add Josh Jacobs in that category for the rushing title this year because this guy is breaking tackles. He's averaging over 5 yards per carry, and Josh Jacobs could be a problem for your defense to stop. Moving on to those Buffalo Bills. You play the Hawks. Not the Hawks, the Falcons. You play the Atlanta Falcons in Atlanta. And they shocked your team in the ATL. So ATL, stand up, be proud of your quarterback and your running back, Bijan Robinson, another person that can have that rushing title. He could be a threat. But Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills were shocked. You only put up 14 points, and Atlanta was all over you on both sides of the ball. Drake London was on there. Michael Penix Jr. was doing his job. And Bijan Robinson being Bijan Robinson. Getting the job done in Atlanta, shocking the Bills at home, beating them by a score of 24-14. With that loss and the New England Patriot win, that put the New England Patriots in first place in the AFC East, a place they haven't been since 1992. You don't believe me? Look it up. Moving on to a battle that everybody was talking about, this Hail Mary play last year. Jaden Daniels and the Washington Commanders playing host to Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears. Now, everybody know what play I'm talking about, the play of the century. Jaden Daniels throwing the ball down the field. A Bears defender tips the ball, and the Washington receiver catches the ball, shocking the Commanders, shocking the Bears, beating them. So this was a redemption game for the Chicago Bears. Can the Bears get it done? This was a close game. Jaden Daniels came back. It could have been anybody's game, but the Bears defense stepped up and finally got the job done, shocking the Commanders at home with the last-second field goal. Chicago beating the Washington Commanders by a score of 25-24. That game could have been either way. The Commanders had the game won. Their defense just couldn't get a stop, and the Chicago Bears are at 500 for the first time in their career. Can the Bears be a threat in the NFC? Let's see. Let's talk about last night's game, shall we? Pittsburgh being red hot, coming in after you beat the Cleveland Browns. Then you got the Cincinnati Bengals. You got Jamar Chase and Joe Flacco. So you have a battle of old veteran quarterbacks. You have Aaron Rodgers against Joe Flacco. Both of these quarterbacks have experience in the Super Bowl. Both of these quarterbacks are Super Bowl champions. But Aaron Rodgers, being Aaron Rodgers, and I see why the Jets let him go, because let's face it, when Aaron Rodgers is under pressure, he stinks. And Pittsburgh fans hate me for this, but it's the truth. We've seen it in Green Bay. We've seen it in New York twice. He didn't even play a full season. Then you come back in the second season and you do absolutely nothing. Don't even make the playoffs, and then you want to leave. Now you're in Pittsburgh and you let Joe Flacco and the Cincinnati Bengals shocking the Pittsburgh Steelers at home, beating the Steelers by a score of 33-31. Steelers fans was kicking themselves in the face with this one. Aaron Rodgers, you let one go. Throwing an interception at the last second of the game, letting the Bengals drag the ball down the field to kick a field goal and beat you at home. Tisk, tisk, tisk for Aaron Rodgers and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, week 8, we got a couple of games. We got Kansas City and Las Vegas. I got the Chiefs winning that one. I'm sorry. I'm giving y'all my picks now. And this Sunday morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern on the NFL Network, we have early games going on. Last week, we had the Broncos and Jets. This week, we have the Rams and the Jags. With these teams being red hot, with the Rams being into a victory and Jacksonville coming into a loss, I'm going with the Rams on this one. Shocking them in London. Miami and Cleveland. Both of these teams are 1-5. Do we really care about this game? Do we really care about the Miami Dolphins and the Cleveland Browns? Both of these teams are 1-5. But if I had to pick one, I'm going with Tua and the Dolphins by field goal. You heard it from me first. You got New England and Tennessee. I got the Patriots over the Titans at home. Drake May is starting to get it. The Patriots defense has always been solid. I got the Patriots holding on, winning, and staying in control of the AFC East. The Carolina Panthers and the New York Jets. Now, you saw what the Carolina Panthers just did to Dallas. And now you got the Jets this week at MetLife Stadium. Can the Jets get their first win of the season? Do you see the New York Jets beating the Carolina Panthers in MetLife Stadium? And mind you, Garrett Wilson is not playing in this game. So I got the Panthers over the Jets. And it's sad to say that I got the Jets going 0-7 because the Carolina Panthers defense is hungry and they're young. And Justin Fields, under pressure, he's always in concussion protocol like Tua. That should answer your question, Jets fans. You got the Chicago Bears and the New Orleans Saints. I got the Chicago Bears in this one. They're 3-2. The Saints are 1-5. You got your first win. You're fighting with the Jets to get the first pick in next year's draft and trying to get Arch Manning, who I'm still not impressed with. He did good this week, but I'm not impressed with Arch Manning at all. I still haven't seen anything from the kid. I have to see something to believe in Arch Manning. Then you got, to me, should be America's game of the week. You got the Minnesota Vikings and you got the Philadelphia Eagles. One of these teams is 4-2, the other is 3-2. The Vikings team, that defense is spectacular, led by Brian Flores. The Eagles coming off a loss to the G-Men, trying to prove something, trying to get back into winning ways, also losing 2 straight like the Bills are. A lot of people were picking the Bills and the Eagles in the Super Bowl. I say otherwise. Let's see. Then you got the Colts and the Chargers. To me, this could go either way. Justin Herbert could choke in the second half. The Colts are 5-1. Daniel Jones is balling in Indianapolis. I'm going with the Colts on this one, upsetting the Chargers at home. The Chargers going to bite off more than they can chew, and that's going to be sad. Now, you also know who's going to bite off more than they can chew. It's going to be sad but true. The Denver Broncos. You're facing the G-Men this week. Jackson Dart is putting the league on notice that he can do this. The Giants' defense is also one of the greatest defenses in the National Football League leading to this season. And so is the Broncos team. So this is going to be a great defensive battle. But to me, by an upset, I got the G-Men winning by a field goal. I say Dart, do it again. I say the Giants improve to 3-4, improving their chances to be in the playoffs this year. I got the Giants over the Broncos. Now, the Green Bay Packers and the Arizona Cardinals. Kyler Murray is hurt. Green Bay is balling. I got the Packs over this one because I still think that Arizona is trying to find out who they are offensively and defensively. and we're going to see this game Sunday. Now, America's game of the week to most people, Dallas Cowboys, Washington Commanders. And this is America's game of the week because we got Dak Prescott going against Jaden Daniels. Washington losing a thriller to the Bears, improving to 3-3. Dak Prescott with that last second loss to Carolina, moving to 2-3-1. The only draw that you got is against the Green Bay Packers. So can Dallas get it done at home? Absolutely not. I got Washington upsetting Dallas at home because the Dallas Cowboys defense are not the same. They suck in the secondary. Receivers are catching the ball all over them, and Dallas is going to lose this one too. Sunday night, we have San Francisco 49ers and the Atlanta Falcons. San Francisco, are they going to get back? Brock Purdy, George Kittle is back this week, so they needed him in the middle. They needed their big tight end to come back, opening up for Juan Jennings. He's also coming back this week. So the San Francisco 49ers at home are a go. Unfortunately, I don't see the 49ers winning this game because Atlanta's defense are just a little bit better. We've seen that last week when they upset Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. So Atlanta, I'm giving it to y'all this week and next week. Y'all will shock the 49ers at home. Now, Monday, we got a doubleheader. Tampa Bay and Detroit. This is going to be a good one. Like I said, Baker Mayfield and the Bucs are balling. They're 5-1. Detroit, after that devastating loss to Kansas City and losing Branch because of that stupid play that he did to Juju, now it's Dan Campbell and Jared Goff are going to play desperate in this game. Unfortunately, I see an upset because Baker Mayfield right now is Mr. Fourth Quarter. I'm sorry to say this. I got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers improving to 6-1. So I got Tampa Bay winning this one. And last but not least, we got the Houston Texans and the Seattle Seahawks. Houston, I've been said y'all had a problem last week. Y'all finally got a win. Great for y'all, but y'all winning streak ends next week in Seattle when you play host to the Seattle Seahawks. Like I said, Sam Darnold got that team balling over there. They on fire. And let's see what happens. Now, Houston, y'all got Nico Collins, but y'all need to go out there on the receiving end of the football and get a Batman to his Robin because Nico Collins ain't it. And C.J. Stroud is looking to find somewhere to throw the ball, but he has nobody to throw it to because Houston ain't got no good receivers. So if I'm Houston by the trade deadline, I'm looking at Nakua. I'm looking at guys like looking at receivers in Oakland. I'm looking at even Rashid Shaheed or Chris Olave in New Orleans. Get these guys the opportunity to play for a quarterback to show their talent in the National Football League. And folks, that right there wraps up week 7, going into week 8. I gave y'all my picks. The games I'm looking forward to right here, right now. That Tampa Bay Detroit game is going to be good. And Kansas City and Vegas is going to be great. Go G-Men. Hope the Jets get their win. But let's see. That's week 8. I'm your boy Reggie. Join me next week as I cover week 8 going into week 9. Thursday night. We got a big game coming up. Prime time. You got the Vikings and the Chargers. So let's see who's going to win that game going into week 8, going into week 9. So thank you for joining me. Hats off. Thank you for my fans. Thank you for my loyal viewers. Thank you for the team at the Family Meeting Podcast. Join us next week. I'm your boy Reg. We'll see you next week. Over and out.